I'm fashion designer Ruby Bhandari, and this is Design Your Life. Each episode, we're stitching a happier, more satisfying life for you with insider tips from industry experts. The fashion and lifestyle industry isn't just fabric and thread. Together, we'll learn about setting real goals and growing your look, your soul, and your attitude to make your dreams a reality. Come with me to design your life.
Hello, everyone. It's Ruby Bhandari, and I'm here to design your life. So, this week has been a very exciting week. I'm leaving for Florida for Miami Fashion Week, and we have Silk Threads, Varun Bell, and Charu Parashar, and Selection Amonga, all from India, coming this time to educate Miami on Indian fashion. So very excited, and at the next show, I'll have some pictures and some footage for you of how it went. And then as soon as I come back, we have Charu Parashar coming back to Dallas. If you remember, about 5 weeks ago, we had Charu here on the show, and she was super amazing, and she is coming back for Fashion Week in Miami. So I told her, might as well come to Dallas because everyone loves you here. So you guys, Charu is going to be here from Wednesday to Saturday next week. So if you want to meet her up close and personal, you want to see her, you want to take pictures with her, give us a call at Silk Threads. So today, I have a very special guest, someone who is very inspirational here in the Dallas community, and maybe even in the United States, I'd have to say you've reached the United States. It's Viktor Abraham, a very, very good friend of mine and a very, very successful entrepreneur, and very diverse in all the things you've done. Viktor, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It's a real privilege, Ruby. I think you're really kind and generous with your words. I'm humbled this evening to be here, but at the same time, it's a privilege to be on your show, Ruby.
Well, I think our audience is going to be so excited just to know about all the things that you're doing, because, I would have to say on social media, you're just a very beautiful, good-looking man with the most amazing smile. And you just, we just see you just
very tall here.
we just see you all over the place. And, I just want people to know really the substance of Viktor Abraham and what you do. So, you have been a pioneer in Texas for the South Asian market, and now the mainstream market for the travel scene. Sure. So, tell us what made you want to be in this business, and how did you start?
Wow. That's a lot of questions in one go, Ruby. But, I started, and I always say I do a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing.
I've heard you say that before.
But I try and do it well by the grace of God, and that's my journey as I look back at how this journey has been. It's been amazing. That's all I can say. I watched my father, I'm talking about in the mid-'80s, watched him do travel from a little small office back in Mumbai.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's what really encouraged me, inspired me. I've always seen him to tell people to get out of town, go have fun and enjoy. And that's what got into me too, to try and, do the same thing, but in a much more extensive manner. And I think we've been here and we've been blessed doing that.
So as a child, did you get an opportunity to travel since your father was a travel agent?
I did quite a bit, but, time evolved and got to travel much more lately, actually, after I got married. Let me put it that way.
To your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Well, Viktor, you're like, I don't know, you're definitely not a Dalasite these days.
Yeah, she is definitely beautiful and successful. That's why I tell behind every successful woman is a confused man, and that is me, you see. So.
I love that. Okay, so I'm looking at my handy-dandy notes because I have so many questions for you.
Sure.
So, let's start with your most interesting travel experience.
Several interesting travel has taken place for me in my travel life, let me put it that way. But the most interesting travel that really put me into action is when I had the privilege of flying with a celebrity's wife 2 decades ago.
Wow.
And being able to sit side by side and being able to share my life story with her. And fortunately, it turned out to be an event where I had to pitch in to help her to transit in one particular city. And the next when we got back, the celebrity himself calls me and says, Victor, why don't you come to play tennis with me?
Oh,
And
wow.
it was none other than Vijay Amritraj, who really
Wow.
opened doors for me in very many areas of life, many, where I could really meet people and meet celebrities all across the world. And, one thing led to the other, and here I am.
That is amazing. I have always wondered, really wondered, how did Victor do this? And you were blessed to be in the right place at the right time. And you had such an amazing personality that you just took him in.
I don't know about that, but I always say time decides who you meet in life, the heart decides who you want in life, and the attitude decides who stays in your life. And that's the most important thing. See, the difference between a good day and a bad day is the attitude you have towards that day. And if you have the right attitude, believe me, Ruby, you can go places. And that is what travel is all about. Let me put it that way.
I think that that's going to be the lesson of today. Could you just repeat that for us, please? I just love that. And I'm going to make that my new motto.
Absolutely, you should.
You're going to see that painted in the studio very soon.
In life, time decides who you meet. The heart decides who you want. And the attitude decides who stays. And basically, the difference between a good day and a bad day is the attitude you have towards that day. So if you have the right attitude, believe me, life is beautiful. And everything else will fall in place.
Give me 5.
Hey, you got it.
I love it. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is absolutely amazing. And I think that everybody should live by that. And hopefully they can be as successful as you.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's my latest mantra, Ruby, is one day at a time. That's what I tell people. All we can do is live life one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. And as long as you have that in mind, knowing, we don't know what tomorrow holds for us, but as you live your life today, make the best of it. And it doesn't matter whether you travel, whether you are with friends, whether you're with family, make the best of it, enjoy it, and life will automatically fall in place.
I absolutely believe that. I absolutely believe that. I guess I live my life like that, but I never really thought about it. I was never able to put it into words. So I really do appreciate that. And I'm going to write that down as soon as we're done with the show.
Sure.
So now, you and I have been in the business for over 25 years.
Yeah.
We both started in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And, we've both blossomed, but we have seen so much change. I want to see from your side, what have you seen in the last 25 years? How has technology impacted the travel business? How has that changed the role of a travel agency like Skypass Travel? And what are the limitations and obstacles that you have frequently faced till now? I'm sure these things have changed over time. I've asked you a lot of things, but, in a nutshell, as much as you can explain, because I really want people to know.
Absolutely. Time has evolved. Guess when the travel industry really got hit, when 9/11 hit all of us, the first industry that got hit was the travel industry.
Absolutely, because people just weren't traveling.
That's right.
Yes.
And with the fear of traveling, with the fear of so much security, still folks are apprehensive to really go out and travel. But we have evolved around that. And believe me, Ruby, hundreds of agencies shut down during that time. But we had a swim upstream, and we were able to still hang on to travel and what we were able to do, and to be able to serve travel and its folks was amazing. Yes, technology facilitated efficiency, and we use it as an ally. Our goal was to let high tech define our efficiency, and high touch.
I like that.
Yeah, demonstrate basically our excellence. So being online allows you to feel in control, but want to ensure that you feel in control even when you're stuck in line. And that's where we come in, the brick and mortar agency, where we can go all out. If it's the middle of the night, you're stuck somewhere in an airport, you're able to pick up the phone, and you can give us a call, and we are there to take care of you. And that is what the travel is all about. And that is what Skypass is all about. Even our logo says that your passage is our priority, and that is our number one priority, to make sure that you have a wonderful travel in whichever area of the world you are in.
Oh, no, absolutely. And, I just feel like for us, we're very parallel in that. I mean, for us, 9/11 happened and silk threads actually flourished because people could not travel. Yeah. But, you know, as time goes on, you know, technology and the fact that our business is non-barrier entry, things kept changing. Yeah. And as people traveled more, people were coming in more with our sort of clothing, and it was sort of, the market was becoming very tough. But it's that service. It's the service that silk threads actually, it's the same sort of thing. People are always looking for service. That will never change.
Exactly. And I think you make people look so beautiful. And, you know, I mean, I always say intent is prior to content. If the intention is right, the content will show. And when you add with your designing and the clothing that you bring to a body, of course, uplifts that person and brings the life in that person. So
well,
you're doing a great job in what you're doing, Ruby.
Thank you. So, you know, a recent example that I want to tell all the audience about is my husband, Raj, had to travel last minute. I don't know how, what, where, but I wanted him to come to India. And Viktor literally got the ticket in minutes. He just told Raj, go to Chicago, and when you get there, your ticket will be there. And I have never seen anything like that. When you're calling airlines, of course, you know, we call airlines, we're getting tickets, we're doing this, but that service was, you literally made my week. And I will never forget that.
Thank you, Ruby. And that is what we are there for, basically to ensure that, you know, that should be the least of your worries, especially when you travel. The tickets or, you know, anything that comes in the way, we want to make sure that you have a smooth passage all across. And that is what our priority is all about.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And I've never had this experience before where I was so desperate and you just like came through like fire. And I think that is the brick and mortar thing that people still require. We think that, you know, Amazon is there and everything's on the internet. You know what? No, it's not. Those feelings and when we're stuck and when we're in trouble, you know, the internet can't help us unless you Google. I mean,
absolutely.
And
that's what I meant. Being online, you're sometimes in line. You see, so
that's right.
So that's where we come in, and we take that load off your shoulders, and we are there 24/7 to make sure. I mean, in fact, I fall behind a good team that holds me back.
You do. You have a great team because you're always out and traveling.
Absolutely.
And, you know, now you have expanded into the cruise business, I know. Do you get a lot of South Asian clients, or is it mostly mainstream?
We get both clientele, basically, because we have tied up with Expedia Cruise Ship Center, which has the buying power to really buy cruises all across the world at very great prices. And we are able to block group spaces as well as you know, even when reservations are not available, we are able to open it. And it's only because we are tied up with such a big company like Expedia. So that gives us the buying power and the selling power to really do much more and be able to cater to the cruise business. So yes, so we are blessed that way.
That's great to know because we are actually planning a big group cruise, and we'll just call you because I know you'll handle the whole thing.
There you go. Skypass is it, Ruby.
Okay, another expansion is the entertainment business. So from arranging concerts like AR Rahman, which was huge, to now producing a film. How did you start that?
Wow. Yeah, it's one thing that led to the other. Like I said, when 9/11 hit, I was looking at diversifying a little bit, and then, of course, came into my plate the whole complete tour of AR Rahman when he wanted to tour the US and the whole world, and we were able to handle his travel at that time for the whole group of close to 200 people.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so when that came across, I was asked by Mr. Rahman itself to see if I can host a show in Dallas. And that's how we decided to go ahead and host the show and promote the show for Jai Ho. It happened in 2010 with a record crowd of close to 14,000 folks at the American Airlines Center. I'm sure you remember that. It was one of a kind. And, you know, bringing both the East and the West together, we were able to really put on a very good show. And that took us to a different level. And one thing led to the other. And then that's how we, you know, got into the movie business, basically, because we wanted to do something that would connect the head and the heart. and we want to do something that would be meaningful out there.
Well, you
And that's,
definitely chose the correct
yeah.
entertainer.
Yeah.
So you know what? I just saw on the screen, and if we can have it again, the pictures from your movie launch. Can we see those pictures again? There we go.
Yes.
So that's your beautiful family.
Yes, that
and
is.
yes, and I mean, amazing. Talk to us about the launch. Tell us about your movie. Tell us the name of your movie. What is it about? And how did you get into this? And who are all these people?
Well, we have actors from both East and the West.
Mm-hmm.
We have Stephen Baldwin. We have Sharman Joshi from of course, from India.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Shari Rigby from here, from Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we brought them together under one screen. And this movie took us a little time, but was spanned over 5 continents, bringing them together on one screen. It's called The Least of These. It's about a story of a missionary who came from Australia, leaving the comforts of Australia to come connect with the people of India and go to a remote place in Orissa where, he was serving the destitute, the much needy, and among all the lepers. And there was a group of radical folks one evening got around his Jeep and burnt him and his 2 boys alive.
Okay.
It's
wow.
horrific in its nature,
Yes.
but when he came to love and when he came to give a hope to this real destitute people, this is what the people reacted and did to him and his 2 boys. But the next day, Ruby, his wife, Gladys Staines, forgave the perpetrators. See, forgiveness is a trait that is not easily, it's so difficult to forgive
It
each
is.
other.
It
We
is.
harbor so much bitterness in our heart that we hold grudges. And maybe it's a friend or a family or, you name it. It's difficult to forgive. And this is something we wanted to showcase to the whole world, that forgiveness is an aspect that we all can. It comes from the heart. It doesn't have religion. It doesn't have a language. And it stems right from the heart.
Well,
So-
that's a very
so-
strong message.
Yeah, so
and
this-
I would love for everyone to see this movie. Now, I know that you were playing in Dallas. I know that you went to Singapore.
Yeah,
and you launched it there.
We went Australia and New Zealand,
Okay.
and then we did it in Africa also. Singapore
Wow.
is coming out next month.
Okay,
We
Singapore's
had its run in the U.S. already, so now it's available on DVD. If you want to get a copy,
Oh.
The Least of These, you can go to any Walmart or go to Amazon and pick up a DVD on The Least of These. You'll be able to watch it in your homes.
That is, I'm
you know,
going to
yeah.
be the first one to go and get it because
Yeah.
I want my children to see this.
Yeah.
Because in the world today, forgiveness is
Yeah.
it's so tough.
It is, Ruby, and that is what the missive is all about. This movie, it's the story of love, hope, and forgiveness, basically, and that is something not, very easy for us to do. But at the same time, you need to have a heart to do it, and that is what Gladys Staines did when she was able to forgive the perpetrators, and that really shook the whole nation. And I mean, this story will come alive when you watch it, and it's an emotional roller coaster, but it's a very powerful movie. I would encourage everyone who's hearing this to go watch it.
So tell me, what language is it in?
It's right now in English.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting it out in 5 other regional languages also, including Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu,
Oh,
and
wow.
even Oriya.
So basically covers the whole
yes,
country.
it does. It
Covers
does.
everybody.
It does, because I think especially since it happened back in India, everyone in India needs to watch this and be touched and be moved by the message that is in there. So it will.
So now that you've produced this movie, I
Yeah.
mean, do you think you'll ever do this again?
I don't know about that. I may do another one. Never say never again.
Because I know you totally disappeared. Like you just fell off the earth while you did this movie.
Yes. It took, like I said, it took us 5 years, and it took a lot of in the production. Like I said, it was spanned over 5 continents because I did not compromise in making this movie. We got the best talents, right from the U.S. to India. The director, we have the music director out of South Africa, and we also had the orchestra that was played in Budapest, So we brought all these together and the screenwriters from Australia. So we brought all the 5 continents on one screen.
That
and
is
was able to
amazing.
showcase it accordingly.
Well,
so.
my big reason for asking you is because I'd be honored to do the costumes in
Oh,
your next movie.
There you go.
And just
No,
play.
you do a fantastic job in your costume.
Thank you,
We
thank
love it.
you.
I know Shirley, my wife, she always raves about it. So, you're doing something right, Ruby, and I am sure people are enjoying and showing off your costumes. So definitely, you will be in line for that.
So next movie. Okay, let's move on to our next question, which I have to read. What is the impact on your prime business, and how has your focus shifted onto other fields, or has it just broadened it up? I know you're doing the movie. Are you going to do any more concerts or any more other sort of things that are, or are you sort of, is your bucket list finished?
Well, see, hospitality. I also own and operate a hotel in right close by Love Field.
Okay.
102 rooms. So, that has broadened us. But we try to ensure that the main thing that we do is travel. It sustains it, and it complements everything that we do. The movie has opened our eyes to the need for feel-good stories and moral narratives in a world that is desperate for good news. Like we have the real news over here. So, so that is what definitely I want to take a look at doing another movie, if God willing. That would make a difference in people's lives.
Wow, that's excellent.
So
I love it. Yeah. And now it's a busy summer travel time.
Yeah.
And you are like the travel expert of the United States, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct.
So what advice do you have? I know I have to tell you, I traveled randomly on Kuwait Airlines.
Okay.
I don't know, do they have new aircrafts? I don't know what, but it was surprisingly good. I was
it was good, okay.
Well, they didn't have grays. They had baby blue blankets. I was like, wow, okay, they have a color.
Okay.
They had a really nice little pack.
Okay.
So, do you do this for your customers? Do you have a favorite airline? I
definitely recommend airlines, but what I tell them is be prepared, be flexible, be patient. Don't make the difficulties of what will divert you to be the reason you remember the trip. Travel is about departing and arriving.
Yeah.
You divide your frustrations, you add your joy, you subtract the delay, and multiply your memories, because you need to build memories even as you travel. I say life and travel is not measured by the breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. And that is what you should remember. Those are the joys of travel, and not the TPTs or the delays, or, let not that frustrate you, but enjoy travel and make the best of it when you travel.
Yeah, basically, because you got to go to point A to B to get to
exactly
where you're going, right?
And sometimes it's nothing, it cannot be under your control, you see? It could be the weather. I also say, like, worry is a conversation you have with yourself about things you cannot change. Correct?
Absolutely.
But a prayer and asking for it is a conversation you have with God about things that He's in control of. It could be the weather, but at the same time, take it one step at a time and make the best of it.
I guess if the weather's bad and you're stuck, make a friend next to you.
There you go. So everything is there for a reason and for a purpose.
Networking.
There you go, Ruby. So absolutely. So that's what I would encourage. And, like I said, be patient, be flexible, and just go for it. That's about it. Yeah, be prepared.
So last thing we want to talk about.
Okay.
Let's talk about community, things that you have done, things that you are doing currently, and kind of what's ongoing for 2019 and 2020. I know you do a lot of community service. I know whenever anybody even hears your name, they say, oh, wow, Viktor, he does so much for the community. So can you tell us sort of kind of what you've done, what you're doing, and kind of what your goals are?
I don't know. Our Skypass Foundation will hopefully address that. The good book says that let others articulate your good deeds and you be silent in doing them. You see? So I always say, it does not take light away from your candle to light another candle. And that's what it's all about. Because
that's so true.
Yeah. And if we can continue to do that, and, that's what I do. Even we practice some of those principles even in our own business. You become successful by helping others to be successful. And if we can have that attitude in our life, believe me, life will be good. You'll go to sleep peacefully at night. So,
I feel so good hearing that. And, I just want to thank you, because you have always supported Silk Threads, and, we have always watched over each other, and you're just, I mean, I wish I could be like you.
Hey, Ruby, you're
And
better
I-
than me, my friend. So,
I really
God-
appreciate
Yeah,
all the
thank
things
you.
that you do for the
Thank-
community, for Silk Threads, for Raj and I.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. And is there anything that you would like to tell the audience that I kind of forgot?
Thank you. It's been an honor. Hey, you have the best here. If you ever want to get your attire, go to Silk Threads, Ruby Bhandari, and believe me, she'll either make you look beautiful or beautiful again. So, thank you. Thank you for the
Thank you
privilege.
so much. Thank you for that great sort of a closure. I love that.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not familiar with Skypass Travel, we will have information on our page, as well as I believe we have a flyer that we can put on. Okay, we don't have it, but that's all right. I will have all the information on Silk Threads by Ruby Bhandari. And anytime, if you can't get a hold of Viktor, I have his phone number personally.
Wow. Now
So-
I'm in trouble.
If you ever need anything on travel or fashion, we are here for you. We really appreciate you guys listening, and I hope that today we were able to design your life.
Thanks.
So-
Thanks for watching Design Your Life. If this episode sparked an idea or a question, I'd love to hear it. Send me a message to my Facebook page, Silk Threads by Ruby Bhandari, or you can email me at info@silkthreads.com. You may be featured on an upcoming episode.